I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, the place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and an overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ. In today's episode, I just want to talk about how we have to stop allowing our expectations of things to ruin things for us or to stop us from trying things or stop us from doing things. I was talking to a few friends of mine the other day, and they were talking about um just some venture that they wanted to try to get into, and one of my friends was already he was talking about how his expectations were going to be going into it, before they even went into it. He was just talking about his expectations of what he expects or what he thinks the certain things are going to look like. And I told him, like, yeah, you don't need to do that. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, because again, I know him well enough to know that he's very similar to me in the sense of once we get an idea in our head, thinking of like, meaning once we get an idea of what we think is going to look like, what we think is supposed to look like, our expectations, and then reality is something different. It makes us feel different about the whatever it is that we're going into, whatever project we're going into, whatever it is that we're getting ready to do. If reality doesn't match our expectation, so I was just trying to have that conversation with him about, hey, understand that that's your expectation, and cool, it's it's okay to have the expectation. There's nothing wrong with that, but understand that there's a chance that reality is not going to match your expectations. And if that's the case, I don't want you to get so down to where you don't want to do this anymore, to where you don't want to do the project, where you don't want to even, participate, in this. You seem so excited. You seem so um, gassed up about doing it. Don't let your expectations ruin how excited you are, your excitement for this. So we were talking, and it just made him kind of realize, because at first he felt attacked, and I just had to make sure that he realized that, hey, I'm saying this because I know, because I go through the same things, I do the exact same things. I let my expectations and my imagination run wild about what I think it's supposed to be and how I think it's going to look and what it's supposed to do for me and what I'll be able to do for other people. And when reality sets in and it's not that, and it doesn't look that way, I'm no longer as excited. I no longer want to be as involved. I'm not getting as much enthusiasm and energy out of myself as I once did. So trust me, I understand. I know where you're coming from. This isn't coming from a place of trying to down talk you or, you know, trying to act like I'm better than. This is coming from a place of, I get it. I understand. I know where you're coming from, because I go through the exact same thing of thinking, wow, this is going to be so amazing. This is going to do this. And then when it doesn't live up to my expectations, now my energy is low. Now I don't want to do it. So I'm trying to catch you before you even get there. But once he realized that it wasn't coming from a place of trying to belittle him, it wasn't coming from an evil place. It wasn't coming from an evil or hurtful place. It was coming from a genuine place of friend, place, a place of love. When we just kind of started to talk about that, and we all just kind of shared our different experiences of, like, when we allowed our expectations to ruin something for to ruin something for us, like, because we set our expectations so high, because it's something that we're so excited for. We think that it's going to change the world, or it's going to change our lives, and maybe those things are going to happen, but we expect it sooner. You know what I'm saying? We expect it almost instantly, or if we do understand that there's going to be some work, we don't ever truly understand the full scope of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like with me with losing weight, I'm at I guess they call it like a bottleneck. I'm at a point now where it's like I could get away with, you know, eating, still being able to eat certain things, certain foods that I probably shouldn't have been eating, but I was still losing weight. And now I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, I'm not losing the weight anymore. I'm kind of staying stagnant. So now I have to tighten up on what I eat and what I consume and how much I consume. Whereas before, as long as I was working out, I was losing the weight while I was still being able to eat, less smaller portions, but still eating certain things. So now it's getting to the point where I have to now adjust my I have to adjust my eating again. What I consume, I have to adjust it again because I'm at a stagnant stage in my thing and my weight loss in my weight loss journey. My expectations were, hey, as long as I'm going to the gym, consistently doing what I'm supposed to be doing on that side, the weight will just continue to come off. Reality is, yeah, the weight started to come off, but now I'm at a point where now I have to adjust what I eat more and more so that I continue to have the weight loss because I had to realize that they go hand in hand. It isn't just me being in the gym, it's me being in the gym plus me doing the work that I need to do outside the gym, which is the food, the diet. Those two go hand in hand. And so, my expectation was just the gym. Like as long as I lock in and at the gym, do what I'm supposed to do, the weight will come off. And for the longest time, that was the case. And the weight was coming off. And so I wasn't being as diligent as I needed to be with my food consumption because I didn't have to be because the weight was coming off. And so now that it's kind of at a stopping point, and I might drop 2 pounds, but then I'll gain the 2 pounds back, and I might gain another 2 pounds, and then drop 3 pounds. So I'm just like in this range, and so I realized that my expectation was, hey, as long as I'm in the gym, I'm good. But in reality, it's the gym plus making sure that I'm eating right, making sure I'm doing my part to make sure that I'm being mindful of the things that I'm consuming and how much of it I'm consuming. So that expectation versus reality, and normally in normal circumstances, I would have been giving up on trying to lose weight because it's like it's not going the way I expected it to go. I expected to be losing weight every time I get on the scale. I'm smaller, 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 smaller. But in reality, I'm not doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing to help that process, to help make that process a reality. So again, it was reality versus expectations. You know what I'm saying? And so we just had a big conversation about how we allow our expectations to skew reality, and we think that everything's supposed to happen overnight or everything's supposed to happen instantly or you're supposed to put in the work. And really I'm gonna speak for me, and I'm just gonna speak for me. Really what the expectation is, you want the results without the setbacks. Because I think for me, especially for me personally, that's more so what it is. It's not so much the hard work or the work that goes into it. It's those hard times, it's those setbacks, it's those unexpected things that give you a bad outcome that have me personally like, okay, yeah, this ain't it. It's not the work and it's not the amount of work. It's like when you hit that snag, when you hit that unexpected thing, when you hit that thing that it's like, okay, we did not see this coming. There was no way to see this coming. It's at that moment when you got to go through adversity that your expectations really kind of mess me up. That expectation of everything's supposed to go smoothly, everything is supposed to go quickly, everything's supposed to happen almost instantly, and there's supposed to be no snags, there's supposed to be no setbacks, everything's supposed to just happen away it's supposed to just go at a steady incline. There shouldn't be any plateaus. There shouldn't be any fall offs. There shouldn't be any of that. It should just be a constant rise. And so that's your expectation. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're thinking of something and you're putting a plan together of what you want to do. And I'm not saying all people, because some people probably do plan and expect for things to go wrong or for things to come up that don't go with the plan. You know what I'm saying? That go against the plan. So just they expect the unexpected. Some people do plan for that, or at least do their best to plan for it, and at least say, "Hey, we want to make room for there to be something that happens that we don't expect." And there's going to be a lot of blowback or a lot of setbacks, whatever the case may be. People do prepare for that, and I think that especially with my expectation and the way that I am when I expect something, I don't even think about the what ifs. I don't think about the man. There's a chance that this could happen. The setbacks, those snags in the plan. I don't think about them. So when they happen, and now my expectations is kind of are ruined. And now I'm thinking instead of thinking, okay, this is a setback. This isn't the end. I'm thinking everything's ruined. There's no point in doing this anymore. I'm just ready to give up because I allowed my expectations to become my reality. Now my expectations are what I'm is the reality. So when it's not working, it's like, okay, this ain't meant for me. This isn't meant to be. This isn't meant to happen for me. It's meant to happen for someone else. And so to go back to the conversation, I know my friend and I know that he's very similar to me in that aspect. So it was just kind of like, I don't want you to fall into that trap because we've done it before. I've done it. You've done it. You know what I'm saying? You've had to pick me up and get me out of my hole of depression when I've gone through and allowed my expectations to cloud my judgment or to cloud my sense of reality. And I've had to, pick you up as well. We've done this for each other. So this is just me as a friend coming from a place of love, trying to wipe those lenses of expectation off before you even get started. And like I said before, of course, in the beginning, he kind of got defensive, but once he realized it was coming from a place of love and it wasn't me judging, it was just me wanting to see him win, me wanting to see him be successful, but me also being realistic about who we who we've been, most of our lives. I gotta be honest, because you showing signs of you allowing this your expectations to kind of cloud what could happen, because again, you're going into something new, something you've never done before, something you've never tried before. There are so many places where things can go wrong just because a lack of knowledge, a lack of experience, a lack of understanding. You're going into something new without a mentor. You're going in completely blind. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how to properly prepare because you've never done this before. And that's okay. Not telling you not to do it, but just simply saying, trying to catch you before you allow your expectations to run so wild that when reality hits at some point, when because it is going to hit, when it hits, it crushes you so much to where you don't want to do it anymore, to where you're ready to give up almost instantly. I don't want to see that happen because it's happened to me so much where I've been so excited, so geeked up, so gassed to do something, but I allow my expectations to warp my reality. And so when reality sets in and reality hits, I'm not ready for it. I don't know how to handle it. I'm not prepared for it in any way, shape, or form. And it gets the better of me. And now I'm lost. Now I'm caught in this storm that I was not prepared for, and I don't know which way is up. So the only thing, or the easiest thing for me to do, because I don't know how to handle this adversity because I was not prepared for it, is to just give up and go on to the next thing. And I know, again, for me, there are I have a graveyard full of things. I got a past full of just things that I tried, and when adversity hit, because my expectations were these are going to be successful, adversity hits, and it's like I don't know how to handle the adversity, because in my expectations, when I was playing this in my mind, I'm going to go do it. So if it was school, whatever it was, I'm going to go do it, get my degree, certification, whatever it is, go get this job, do this job for X amount of years, learn everything that I need to learn, and then go into business for myself, or whatever the case may be, just using that blueprint as an example. Get into the class is going well. Um, and then something either will snag in the class part, or something will snag in the getting the job part. And because in my mind and in my plan and in my expectations, there was no snag in the getting the job part. So in my mind, because they'll say, "Hey, we help you get a job. We help you, job placement, whatever." It's like, okay, cool. They're gonna help me find a job. So at no point in my mind, no point in my expectations do I think, oh, it may take me a couple of months to find, or a couple of weeks, whatever. There are going to be people who say no. So because I'm being denied for whatever reason, or because it may be a slow season, whatever it may be, it may take me a while to get a job. So at no point has that thought crossed my mind. So at no point once it does happen, and now it's taking me way longer than I expected to find a job. Now, instead of me persevering through it, or maybe me finding a job until this comes along, just keep pushing, just doing something else until this comes through. It's like, okay, I'm going to give up on this altogether, because clearly this isn't for me, especially if I see people who either came in with me or came in after me getting jobs. You know what I'm saying? But me not realizing, hey, some people are willing to go further out. Some people are willing to relocate. I want everything to work for me without what's the word I'm looking for? Without any inconvenience. I want everything to convenience me. The people who are getting the jobs quicker than I am are because they're willing to go further out. They're willing to relocate. They're willing to start in this position, and work their way up. I wanted everything because, again, my expectations were you're going to get everything that you want. And what I had to realize, again, especially now that I'm going through therapy, I had to realize that, yeah, you can get everything you want. You just may not get it all at one time. And that wasn't something that I understood. And part of that was because I ran from adversity so much. Whenever I would hit a snag, whenever I would hit something, whenever reality would hit me in the face, my first mindset was, okay, this ain't for me. In my mind, is God saying, don't do that. You got to go somewhere else. When in reality, it may have been, you got to go through these storms. I was avoiding storms. I was avoiding the struggle. I was avoiding the hard times because they weren't a part of the plan. They weren't a part of the expectations. I was not, when I would come up with a plan in my head, the only hard time that I'm thinking about is, I got to go again. Like I said, if we're just talking like degrees or certificates or whatever, however long the program was, that was supposed to be, in my mind, the hardest part. So if the program is 6 months, having to tough it out for these 6 months of going through the schooling was supposed to be the tough part, because I didn't think for a second that after the 6 months of going through the schooling and getting my certificate or getting whatever, now I have to go through job placement. And I'm not thinking that that's going to take for. I'm thinking like, okay, this school has a good reputation. They got good partnerships with these people. I'm going to get a job instantly, and I have a lot of certifications. And you would think that after the first one, maybe even the second one, I would realize, okay, let me take the time to also mentally prepare for the idea that the first offer, second offer, third offer, first of all, the first offer may not even come instantly. And if it does, I got to be okay with being inconvenienced for a little while. I have to be okay with that offer may not have everything that I want right now, but there may be room to get it down the line. But I didn't understand that because I didn't understand going through hard times. The way I thought at the time it worked was you go do your 6 months, you get everything, and you just work for 6 months to get the certification. Now you are to be rewarded everything that you want for doing that work for 6 months. And again, that's not real life. I lived in the fantasy world of my expectations. Real life is, yes, you do that 6 months of work, and the offer that you get may not be everything that you want, but it can lead to everything that you want. You just have to be willing to go through those, however long it takes, of not having everything that you want to eventually get the things that you want. So it may have the pay, but it may not be the position, it may not be the hours, it may not be the shift, uh, it may not be the company, whatever the case may be. It may be a lot of things wrong, but then there are some things that are right. And you have to learn. And I had to learn that you got to deal with that. You got to deal with the good and the bad that comes with these jobs. Like every job is not going to be the perfect job that has every single thing that you want every single time. That job may not even exist. You know, being realistic, if you want that job, you may have to create that job for yourself when you go and work for yourself. But for now, you're going to have to take those inconveniences and make them work for you. And I did not understand that concept. I did not understand that idea in my mind. Again, my expectations, I'm supposed to get everything that I want, and I didn't have enough people. Well, let me not say that because I want to say I didn't have enough people because I had enough examples. I just wasn't looking, you know. I just didn't. It's not even so much that, because again, this is where accountability comes in. So let me be accountable. I just was of the mindset I want what I want when I want it. So being a spoiled brat, I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. So it's not that people didn't tell me. It's not that I didn't see it. I just didn't pay attention and I didn't care. My thing was I wanted what I wanted. I'm going to this program, free program. Most of them were free, free program. Some I had to pay for. I'm going to get this certification in these 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And I'm finna go get this job. This job is finna be amazing. It's going to be everything that I'm looking for. I'm finna get paid. I'm going to do it for X amount of years. Da, da, da. I mean, all of that. And in none of those calculations and in none of those expectations and in none of that planning did I ever plan for any hard times to happen. The only hard times that I planned for was if they say, okay, this has to be, it's 6 months. So in my mind, the hard parts are going to be getting up, going to class, whether it was 3 days, 2 days, 5 days a week, whatever it was, getting up, going to class for these next couple of months. That's going to be the hard part, is basically going through school again. But once I graduate, once that certification's in my hands, I'm gonna be able to get a job like that instantly. I'm gonna get a job, and the rest is going to be history. And I can look back on it now and realize that I was really setting myself up for failure because, like, like I've been saying, at no point in time in my expectations did I plan for reality, which is that job offer might not come as soon as the certificate's in my hand. There won't be companies just lined up at our graduation ceremony or whatever, our ceremony, whatever, lined up. Hey, because I don't know what movie, what show it was, but it was something along those lines. When they graduated, got their certificate, there were companies, out there just waiting on them, to shake their hand and to talk to them and give them their business cards. Hey, if you're thinking about coming here. So in my mind and in my expectations, it was going to be something similar. There was going to be a line of people. I would have my pick of, what companies I wanted to go and interview with and things like that. So again, that's the expectation. And for me, I'm so locked in to the expectation that when it's not happening, reality hits me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to recover. I didn't know how to, I got lost in that storm. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know which direction was what. I didn't know where to go. So it's just kind of like you just sit there and then it's like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. On to the next thing. And so yeah, man, my expectations got the better of me. So again, I say all of that to say when I saw my friend who's very similar to me getting ready to go down that rabbit hole, I felt that I felt that it was my responsibility, my duty to just at least check the temperature to make sure that there's an understanding of, hey, don't just allow the expectations to control you. Don't let the expectations rule you. Don't let these expectations guide you. Don't be led by the expectations. Make sure that you have a lot of room for reality in your expectations, in your plan. Make sure that you're planning for that you're doing as much research as you possibly can about about anything, any type of negative, whatever, any type of potential snags, any type of potential downfalls, whatever. What research it all so that what you can adjust your plans accordingly to have these potential potholes in your plan. Like you need to be able to make sure that you make room for there to be for this plan not to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Just us, just me talking to him because I find myself having to do the same thing. Uh when I'm doing stuff now and when I'm planning stuff now, I'm also thinking about, okay, there are going to be potential setbacks. So when I'm starting to feel myself, oh man, the expectations are going to be this, I have to check myself and really guide myself because I know how I am when my expectations start to get involved. So I try my best not to go into things without any expectations. And I try to do it every single day. So when I go to work, I try to my best to go to work with no expectations, just to go in and do what I'm supposed to do, fresh blank piece of paper. Let today be today. Quit trying to put expectations on the day because then when it doesn't work out the way I want it to, now I'm upset. Now I'm stuck in this emotional space that I didn't have to be in if I had just, not put the expectations out there. So I definitely had to have that conversation with him. And I'm glad that we had the conversation, even though again it started off a little rocky, but it was worth it because it gave him that chance to kind of check himself and to snap back to reality and to make sure that he wasn't just thinking about all the glitz and glamour and all the positive stuff that could come out of this, but that he was taking time to realize that in reality, things very rarely go according to plan 100%, where there's no problems, there's no snag, no pothole, no detour, no stops, no nothing. Everything just goes the way it's supposed to go without any hitches. That's just not reality. So, the fact that I was able to kind of help him catch himself before he, got too far gone in his expectations of what it's supposed to be, that it started to, he left no room for reality, which again is something that I do as well. So it's something that I'm working on, and I'm doing my best to try to have realistic expectations of everything. I try to leave room for reality, because it's like, you know what I'm saying, things are going to happen that you don't expect. There are things that aren't going to go your way. There are going to be things that turn you in a whole nother direction. Doesn't mean that you can't still get to where you need to go, but you may have to take a different path. And so I know I've said it before on one of the episodes that I just did, but detours are an important thing. You got to be flexible. You got to be willing to make those detours when you have to. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how to detour. So, that's a big lesson. That's a big skill set that I'm learning how to be flexible in my mindset, in my thinking, with my expectations, and with what I do. Just learning how to be flexible, period, and learning how to take detours when I need to. But man, like I say, just be careful with those expectations. Make sure that you're taking reality into your thinking process when you go in and you're planning, and especially if you're someone who you let your expectations get the better of you and you don't leave room for reality. We got to start making sure that we leave room for errors in our expectations and in our planning. But that's it for today's episode. I want to thank everybody for listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on. I appreciate that. And to everybody watching on YouTube, I appreciate y'all too. Please continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time we meet, y'all already know, y'all stay blessed.